Hello everyone, welcome to this video series. Herein we see the concepts of weighted averages and allegations. So let's start with the weighted average. Weighted average and average, what is the difference between the two? When the weights of different quantities are same, the simple method is used to find the average or a mean. What we have seen in the previous two series on averages. Therein we do not differentiate between the quantity or the weight of the different items for which we are calculating the mean. However, when the different quantities have different weights, then weighted average is used to calculate the mean or the average of the set. This we will see in greater detail. Here in weighted average, the formula is like sum total of all the groups upon total number of elements in all groups put together. That is P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 plus P3 Q3 plus Q4 Q4 and so on upon Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 plus Q4 and so on. So let us see what is this. I mean, through an example, we will try to understand the concept here. The example says if Sachin played three different ODI series in a year, in the first series he played in 5 matches and scored at an average of 39 runs. In the second series he played 7 matches and scored at an average of 57 runs. And in the third series he played in 3 matches and scored at an average of 122 runs. Find the average run scored by Sachin. I think spelling is wrong here. In that year. So see, there are three series. Series one, Sachin plays how many matches? 5 matches, right? Number of matches and average. Average is how much? Scored at an average of 39 runs. Then in series two, he plays 7 matches and scores at an average of 57 runs. And then third series, he plays in 3 matches and scores at an average of 122 runs. So now let us see what is the total run scored in series 1. Total run would be what? 5 into 39. If average of 5 matches is 39, so 5 match 5 into 39 will give the so 540 200, so it will be 195. Here it will be 7 into 57. This becomes 7 7 of 49 for 399. And here the sum total in series 3 would be how much? 3 into 122, which is 366. Right. So now question is find the average run scored by Sachin in that year, means in all the three series put together. So what is the average? We know average is nothing but sum total of all runs upon total number of matches, right? Number of matches. What is the sum total of all the runs? That is 195 plus 399 plus 366 upon total matches are 5 plus 7 plus 3. So this is like 5 9 14 6 20. So if calculate on calculator, this would be uh, 64, right? So this is the way we find. Now let us see the some difference between the simple average and the weighted average. What happens? I mean, if the average for the year is asked, can we do like every? I mean, and the individual series average is 39, 57, and 122. Can we say that the average for the year would be the average of 39, 57, and 122? That is 39 plus 57 plus 122 upon 3. Can we say this? No, we cannot say this. We cannot, because this is wrong. Because see here, 39 is the average run, but that is in 5 matches. 57 is the average run, that is across 7 matches, and 122 is the average run, that is across 3 matches. So we cannot simply take the average of the averages to find the average run scored by Sachin in that whole year, right? Because why it's so? Because the weights assigned for 39 the weight is 5, for 57 the weight is 7, for 122 the weight is 3. That is 122 is the average run in 3 matches, 57 is the average run in 7 matches, 39 is the average run in 5 matches. So that is why the weights are different. Therefore, we cannot simply do a simple average. So what we did effectively here, we had the average one A1 into M1 plus average 2 into number of match 2 plus A3 into M3 upon M1 plus M2 plus M3. This is what has been done here to get the average. So basically, all the respective averages has been multiplied with their respective weights. In this case, the weight is nothing but the number of matches played by Sachin, and that way we calculate the average run scored by Sachin in that year. Right. So this is the very simple concept, but very important to make a note of. I mean, uh, many a times what people do, they simply take the average of the averages and find the, but that is not correct, because we have to find the average run scored by Sachin in that year. Means the average run scored by Sachin in all the matches played during that year. So what is the total run and what is the total number of matches? That way we will do, and this is nothing but A1 M1 plus A2 M2 A3 M3, right, upon M1 M2 M3. So this is the basic understanding of weighted average. We will again try to gain some more expertise over this through a few more illustrations. Like herein the question says that if a shopkeeper mixes 10 kg of rice at 60, so see here, rice 1, here rice 1 quantity is, let be Q1 10 kg and price is 60 per kg, and we should be very careful and mindful of the units what we are taking. That is going to make a lot of difference going forward. So now second variety of rice. So shopkeeper mixes 10 kg of rice at 60 rupees per kg with another variety of rice which is quantity is 15 kg, right, and the price P2 is nothing but 100 per kg, right. So we have to find the average price of the mixture, average price of the mixture. So what we do, we know that average price of mixture quantity, mixture of both the rice, is total. What is the average price? Total price upon total quantity. Total price upon total quantity. What is the total price? Total price here would be, he had 10 kg of rice one at 60 per kg. So total price is nothing but 10 into 60. And rice 2, second variety of rice, it is 15 kg at 100 rupees per kg. So this is the total price upon, what is the total quantity? 10 kg plus 15 kg. 10 plus 15. This is nothing but 600 plus 1500 upon 25. So this is 2100 upon 25. That is nothing but 84. What is the unit here? 84. This is price upon quantity, that is rupees per kg. So what we get as average is nothing but rate, and that was asked what is the average price. So price is rupees 84 per kg for the mixture. Right, this is the way, a very proper and a conventional approach of solving any problem of weighted average. We will see going forward a very smart shortcut using allegations. But before that, we should know what is the basic understanding of weighted average. So this is, so what we have done here, basically we have done here P1 price of first quantity into Q1 quantity of first quantity plus P2 price of second quantity into second quantity of rice into quantity of second rice upon total quantity of the mixture. That is what we have, and this is nothing but weighted average, right? So this is what we have used here to get. Now let us see another problem. It would be similar only. The average weight of boys of a class is 60 kg, whereas the girls, so boys are here, average weight is 60 kg, and then there are girls, average weight of girls is 53 kg, right? If the ratio of the number of boys and girls in that class is 4 is to 3, so there are, I mean, 4, let there be 4x boys and 3x girls number. Here weight. So what is happening? What is the total weight of boys? We have to find the average age of the class. Sorry, average weight of the class. So average weight of class would be what? Total number of boys 4x into 60 plus total number of girls into average weight, which is 53 kg, upon total number of students, that is 4x plus 3x. So this gives here 4 into 60 is, x will get cancelled out from numerator denominator, and here it will be 7. So this gives me 993 upon 7. So this is nothing but 7 5 ja 35 4 7. So 57 kg, right? So 57 kg is the average weight. This is the answer to this question. Let us solve the other problem. Herein, see, question is 12 liters of 75% milk. 75% means 75% concentration is milk, rest is water, is mixed with 20 liters of a solution wherein 50% is milk and rest 50% is water. Find the concentration of milk in the resulting solution. So see what happens. There are two solutions. Solution 1, solution 2. In solution 1, the concentration of, let's say, one item milk. So concentration of milk is in solution 1 75%, and in solution 2 it is 50%. Quantity or volume. What is the volume of solution 1? 12 liters. What is the volume of solution 2? 20 liters. We have to find the average concentration of milk in the resulting solution after mixing, when this is mixed. So concentration of milk in resulting solution would be what? See, 12 liters into 75% would give the quantity of milk. Quantity of milk, 12%, 12 liters into 75% will give the quantity of milk in solution 1. Whereas in here 50% into 20 liter will give the quantity of milk in solution 2. When this divided by, so this numerator becomes the quantity of milk, and denominator total volume of milk. What is total volume of milk? 12 plus 20. So this is nothing but 12 into 75 is 900, and this is 1000 upon 32. So this, if we solve, this is like 1900 by 32. So this will be 59.375%. So this is the solution, right? The approach should be here. What we are doing? P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 upon Q1 plus Q2. This formula only we are using. This standard formula what I have written here. The same I am writing here. P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2 upon Q1 plus Q2. Now example 3 says three varieties of rice, that is basmati, Govind Bhog and Katarni, costing rupees 100 per kg, 80 per kg and rupees 50 per kg are mixed together in a certain quantity. What is that ratio? That we do not know. The mixture is sold at 66.67% profit for rupees 120 per kg. Of the total 75 kg of the mixture. Okay, so one thing, I mean the total mixture weighs 75 kg. We do not know the ratio in which basmati, Govind Bhog and Katarni has been mixed, but the total quantity is 75 kg. Out of that 30 kg is basmati. Find the quantity of Govind Bhog. So let us see here. We can do it very fast, but just to get through the concepts and the approach, I am doing it here in basmati, Govind Bhog, and third variety is Katarni rice, right? So what happens? Basmati we know. Rates first of all. Basmati is priced at rupees 100 per kg. Govind Bhog at rupees 80 per kg, and Katarni at rupees 50 per kg, right? This is the cost price rate. Okay, and what is the quantity? Quantity basmati we know is 30 kg, and total is given as 75 kg. So Govind Bhog and Katarni would be 45. Let this Govind Bhog be x kg, so this becomes 45 minus x, right? This is the quantity. Another information which has been given here is the mixture is sold at rupees 120, which is 66.67 profit. So meaning, if let's suppose cost price is CP plus, so what would be selling price? Selling price would be CP into 1 plus profit percentage, 1 plus 66.67 we can write as 2 by 3. This is equal to selling price, right? Just a basic concept of profit and loss. So here cost price into this becomes 5 by 3 is equal to selling price. Selling price is 120. It has been given. So from here I can say that cost price would be 72 per kg, right? This we can get. So now see. So this is the cost price, and we have been given the individual cost price of each variety, and this is the cost price of mixture. So CP of mixture is nothing but 72 per kg. Now see here, we have to find, so how do we find the weighted average cost price or weighted average rate of the mixture? That is nothing but weighted average cost price is equal to rate into weight 30 plus 80 into x plus 50 into 45 minus x upon what? CP is rates upon weight, so upon quantity. Total quantity is how much? 75 kg, right? And this we know is nothing but 72 per kg. This is given here, 72. So from here we can solve the equation. So it will be 72 into 75. So 72 into 75 would be, I think, 5400, if I'm not wrong. 4 by 3. Let me calculate. 5400. So x would be nothing but, I just straight away solve this. 5400 minus 3000 upon and this is further right. This is, yeah, this upon here x would be 80x minus 50x, that is 30x. So 30 would be here. So this becomes 5400 minus 5250 divided by 30. So this gives as 5. X is equal to 5 kg, right? So it is 5 kg. I hope calculation is correct. 5 kg. So basically the question was find the quantity of Gobind Bhog. Let me check once again. 75 kg, 30 kg is basmati. So 45 x 45 minus x 50. This becomes minus 30x 3000. This is 5250 54 150. Yeah, it's correct. So 5 kg. Yeah. So this way we can calculate the quantity of Gobind Bhog rice. So that was the basic concept of weighted average. Now we saw that weighted average, uh, though it's a very conceptual and basic in nature, it may at times be time consuming also. So there is a process which goes by the name of alligation, using which we can solve this in really quick time. So alligation is a quick technique used to solve problems based on weighted average concept of two items. This thing to be noted, only for two items. So I mean weighted average we can use for any number of items, but alligation can only be used for two items. Weighted average concept of two items, right? So let me go into derivation first. I mean, how does this look like? We have seen that weighted average price P of two quantities, say with price P1 quantity Q1, second quantity, second variety of price P2 quantity Q2 upon total quantity Q1 plus Q2, right? This is what we had seen. This is by weighted average concept. So if I write this as P times Q1 plus P times Q2, I'm taking this denominator left hand side, is equal to P1 Q1 plus P2 Q2. So this becomes Q1 into P1 minus P, taking everything on left right hand side, is equal to Q2 times P minus P2, right? Just rearranging the equation. From here I can write Q1 upon Q2 is equal to nothing but P minus P2 upon P1 minus P. So this is a very standard result which is made use in application of alligations. So basically nothing but a derivation of the weighted average price. So what happens when we know that what is the weighted average price of a two variety, and we also know the individual price of the two variety, then we can find out the ratio of the quantity of the two variety. That is something which is given by alligation, right? So basically if I can I just try to derive a similarity with a seesaw, right? So see what happens. I mean, we have seen that seesaw or any balance. So at this end, there is some weight, say suppose, or any say P1. Here it is P2, and average is somewhere say P1 is heavier, suppose, so it is like this. So this is the average, I mean, or this is the balance point, this is the hedge. If the hedge is placed at this place, so this seesaw is in balance. So now see what happens. If P1 is heavier, let's suppose if P1 greater than P2, let this be true. So what happens if this weight is heavier? Suppose this P1 is a weight for a moment. So on a seesaw, P1 person with heavier weight is sitting, and P2 person with a lower weight is sitting on right hand side. So if two persons are sitting equidistant from the center, then certainly the person with a heavier weight will pull the seesaw down towards himself, right? And the person with a lighter weight will go up, just by the very virtue of the gravity and the weight. Whereas if the hedge was, or the hinge was at not at the center but slightly towards heavier weight, so what would happen? Now if this distance is less, let's suppose this be d1 and this be a distance of d2. So for the seesaw to balance, the person P1 should sit nearer to the center of the seesaw, and person P2 with a lower weight should sit farther away from the center, right? So meaning the balance will only be there if P1 into D1 is equal to P2 into D2. And what is D1? D1 is the distance between P and P1. So that is nothing but P1 into this distance, right? So what does this mean? Heavier person should sit closer to the center, or the average in this case, R case, and the lighter person should sit far away from the weighted average center for the seesaw to balance. So that is the similarity or analogy which is also applicable in the weighted average and alligation thing, and that is what is given here. This relation, if we look carefully, this gives q1 into p1 minus p, q1 into p1 minus p. P1 minus p is nothing but the distance between these two, and p2 minus p is the distance between these two, and q1 and q2 are the weights, right? I mean, here the notation is P1 is for person 1 and P2 is for person 2, and P1 is heavier than P2. So what does this mean? The heavier person should sit closer. D1 is the distance, that is P1 minus P, and here P2 with a lower weight should sit farther, that is at a higher distance, right? So basically, what does this mean? So let me represent this as Q1, weight Q1, and here as Q2, weights, right? And P1 as P2, Q1 greater than Q2, right? This is something we saw. So now what I can write, so taking the analogy and bringing it back to the here. So here I can write Q1 into distance between the two, which what, P minus P1, that should be equal to Q2 lower weight into distance between the two is what, P2 minus P, right? So P minus P1 and P2 minus P, that distance. So that is something we, and if we rearrange, we get this equation Q1 upon Q2 is equal to P minus P2 upon P1 minus P, right? So this thing we should keep in mind, and then when we look at illustrations, the concept would be even more clear. Now allocation is a quick technique used to solve problems based on weighted average concept of two items. There are two approaches of solving problem using allocations. Both are very much similar, but one is a straight line approach and other is a cross method approach. Let us see what is the straight line approach, right? So here in the straight line, uh, let us see. I mean, item 1 will be represented on the left hand side. Item 1 costs P1 rupees and quantity is Q1. Item 2 here costs P2 rupees per kg and quantity is Q2. So what is the weighted average price of this mixture of item 1 and 2, right? So that will be nothing but, now we have seen that weighted average is of that balance point, and for the balance point the distance here, this distance should be nothing but in the ratio of q2 minus q1. I mean, if we see here, I just write this expression here also for your reference. Q1 by q2 is equal to nothing but p minus p2 upon p1 minus p, right? So this distance would be q1 into p1 minus p, and this distance would be p2 minus p, right? And therefore when q1 into p1 minus p is equal to q2 into p2 minus p, there would be a, yeah. So what would be the weighted average? So let us suppose let us suppose we take some value, right? We take some value for p1. Let it be 10 rupees per kg. P1 is equal to 10 rupees per kg, and q1 is equal to 3 kg. Here let's say suppose q2 is equal to 2 kg and p2 is equal to say suppose 20 kg, right? 20 kg. So we have to find the weighted average price of the mixture. So basically we are saying item 1 of 3 kg at a rate 10 per kg and item 2 of quantity 2 kg at a rate 20 per kg is mixed with each other. So we have to find the weighted average price of the mixture. So how to find? How the straight line approach says that it is nothing but so P1 and P2. So this would be in the ratio of, this will be in the ratio of Q2 is to Q1, right? This distance is P1 minus P and or P minus P1, right? So here we see that, I mean, Q1 and P minus 1 are in inverse relation. So basically what we do, this total difference of 10 kg and 20 kg. So the distance between these 2 points becomes 10, 20 minus 10 is 10, and that will be decided in the ratio of 20 q2 is to q1, inverse relation, right? We have seen here from this side we can see that this distance is nothing but p minus p1, and p minus, for p minus p1 it will be q2, right here. And if it is p minus p2, so from a distance concept this is p minus p1, so p minus p1 that represents q2. So this is in the ratio of q2, and this distance is what, p2 minus p. P2 minus p would be in the q1 ratio. So that is what. So now see that ratio q2 is to q1 is nothing but 2 is to 3, right? So this is nothing but 2 is to 3. So now total distance become 2 plus 3 5. So 5 represents 20 minus 10, which is 10. 5 represents 10. So 2 will represent what, 4. So the ratio will be 10 plus 4 14 per kg. This is very simple, just try to understand this. So now I generalize the thing here. It is like if price is P1, it is P2, and this is Q1, this is Q2. So what will be the average? Average, this distance I can write as Q2 and Q1. This whole difference between the two prices P2 minus P1 can be divided in the ratio of Q2 is to Q1. So this price would be nothing but P1 plus Q2 upon Q1 plus Q2 times P2 minus P1, right? This is the average price. This is the average price. So what we are doing here, basically we are dividing the two parts, one before the weighted price, other weighted rate, other after the weighted rate, in the ratio of Q2 is to Q1, the inverse ratio. And the weighted price we can calculate by adding P1 with this Q2 times. So basically what? Q1 plus Q2 represents the distance between P1 and P2. So what will Q2 represent? Q2 upon Q1 plus Q2 into P2 minus P1, right? With linear equation we can say. So that is what is P representing here. With example this will be even more easier. Now the second is a cross method. So cross method is, if this is P1, this is price rate P2, quantity is Q1, and the weighted average is say P. So what happens? The difference between say P2 minus P, and here the difference is P minus P1. We will follow up. I mean, if we either we can come from this side or this side, or this side to this side. So P2 minus P and then P minus P1. Right. So this ratio is nothing but the ratio of the weights of first item and the weight of second item. Right. Same thing. What this is also derived from the same equation. Q1 by Q2 is equal to Q1 by Q2 is equal to P2 minus P upon P minus P1, right? This expression which I had derived here was using the same. Now here in the cross method, this is visually easy to look here. This is P2 minus P, P2 minus P, and this is P minus P1, P minus P1. So the cross difference becomes the ratio of the different individual weights. Q1 by Q2 becomes P2 minus P upon P minus P1. Right. So this is just the representation. Now we will, using this, we will try to solve some questions. Now see, question number 4 says, if a shopkeeper mixes 10 kg rice. So the same question, if I just for illustration sake, I will take one example here. So in the previous question, it was 10, 20. So 10 per kg, 20 per kg. This is 14 per kg. So what is the ratio of the weights of the two items? This is item 1, item 2. The ratio of weights will be nothing but difference between 20 minus 14 is 6, and here 14 minus 4 is 4. So ratio would be 3 is to 2, right? 3 is to 2 was something we started with, 3 is to 2. So Q1 is to Q2 is nothing but 3 is to 2, right? So again, through various examples, we consolidate this concept. Herein, if a shopkeeper mixes 10 kg of rice at 50 per kg with 30 kg of another variety of rice at 90 per kg, find the average price of the mixture. So here item 1 we will keep on left hand side. This is 50 per kg and weight is 10 kg, right? And here it is 90 per kg and 30 kg. We have to find the weight. So this distance will be in inverse ratio. Weight is in 10 is to 30. So this will be 3 is to 1, right? 3 is to 1. So basically 3 is to 1 means total this length 4 unit represents what? 90 minus 50, 40 per kg. So 4 units represent 40, 40. So 3 unit will represent what? 3 by 4 into 40, that is 30. So it becomes 50 plus 30, that is 80. So that is 50 plus 30, which is 80 per kg. Very simple. I mean, what we did, thought process was the weighted average would be nothing but in the inverse ratio. So weights are in 10 is to 30. So here it will be 3 is to 1. Now 3 is to 1 means 3 plus 1, 4. 4 unit length represents the 90 minus 50, which is 40 units. So 3 unit length with this distance will represent what in terms of price? That will be nothing but, if 4 units represent 40 rupees, so 3 unit will represent 30 rupees. So 30 rupees from here, this is 50. So 50 plus 30 is 80. So 80 rupees per kg is the average price, right? Very simple. Other way could have been to go through conventional method of uh, weighted average, where we could have taken 10 into 50 plus 30 into 90 upon 10 plus 30. So this becomes 500 plus 2700 upon 40. This is 3200 upon 40. This is 80 per kg, right? We should be very careful about the units that we'll see in some later examples, but because unit is something which comes in denominator, right, everywhere. So here we saw that using alligation approach we could solve this very easily, very easily. Now in alligation we saw that there are two approaches. One is straight line method, one is cross method. So where to use which one? So when we have to find the average price of a mixture, whenever we have to find the average price of the mixture, there we will use the straight line method. So here I write basically, when the question is to find the weighted average of mixture, you then use straight line approach. And when the question is to find when the question is to find ratio of quantity then use cross method. Now having said that, I further make a point here. It's not that we cannot find the weighted average of the mixture using cross method, or I cannot find the ratio of the two using straight line method. Actually both the methods are same, only the representation is different. But having said that, again the visual or the intuitive, I mean, if we have to find the weighted average, then this straight line becomes more intuitive. And if we have to find the ratio of the two quantity, this is more intuitive. But however, we can solve any of the variety using any of the approach, right? So here we have to find the average. So I uh, did this with weighted average, sorry, straight line approach. Let us see how to move ahead using cross method. So here, what is there? It is 50. This is 90. This we do not know. This we do not know. And here the weights are here. This is 10 is to 30, right? So now see here, the difference between, see what, that is 1 is to 3. So x minus 90 is 1 unit. So what would be x minus 50? So x minus 90 upon 50 minus x. X minus 90 is 1 unit. So and this is 3 units. So if we solve here, we get x is equal to 80. We can solve, but this is not very intuitive. Herein, I mean, here we have to form equation and then solve. Here directly, visually, we can, with a cross method, we can solve that. Here also you can apply that cross method. What you can do, it is 1 is to 3, so you can put 3 here, 1 here. Now again the same thing, 50 and 90, difference of 40. 40 is represented by 4, right? So 3 will give 30, so 50 plus 30 is 80. Same as what we did in straight line approach. Now let us look at this problem. Problem 5. Ratio of milk and water in 2 cans are in the ratio 5 is to 2 and 4 is to 3. Solutions of these two cans are mixed in the ratio of 2 is to 3. Find the ratio of milk and water in the resultant solution. So let us go by the straight line approach, because we have to find the ratio or the final ratio of milk and water in the mixture right here. So here what is the concentration? Now we will either take concentration of milk or water, anything. So concentration of milk in solution 1 is 5 by 7, right? I can say this 5 by 7, 5 unit water, 2 unit, 5 unit milk, 2 unit water, it becomes 5 by 7. In solution 2 this is 4 by 7, right? And the quantity here is 2 units of solution 1 and 3 units of solution 2. So what happens here? See, so this distance would be in the ratio of 3 is to 2, inverse ratio, this we have seen. So basically what this whole distance, 5 unit distance, 5 unit distance represents what? 4 by 7 minus 5 by 7, which is 1 by 7. So 5 represents 1 by 7. So what will 3 represent? Or what will 2 represent? Anything we can take from this side also. Let us take 2. So 2 will represent what? 2 by 35, right? 1 by 35 into 2, 2 by 35. So what will be this value? This value will be nothing but 4 by 7 plus, I mean, we have taken this unit. From this side we are now going 2 by 35. So 35, 7 5 ja, 5 4 ja 20 and 2. So this is 22 by 35, right? So from this side we see that it is 22 by 35. Let us see from this side what happens. Here also this is total distance is 3 is to 2, that is 5. So 5 represents the distance between 5 by 7 and 4 by 7, which is 1 by 7, right? So this 3 represents what? 3 represents 3 by 35. Now see, we have to be careful in which order is there. 5 by 7 is more than 4 by 7. So basically 5 by 7 will be more than the weighted average, and which in turn will be more than 4 by 7. So to obtain the weighted average from 5 by 7, something needs to be subtracted, because this is going to be lower than this 5 by 7. Average is certainly going to lie between these two figures, wherein 5 by 7 will be more than average and average will be more than 4 by 7. So to obtain average from 5 by 7, something needs to be subtracted. What is to be subtracted? 3 by 35. So 5 by 7 minus 3 by 35 is nothing but 35. 7 5 ja 25 minus 3, which is 22 by 35. So this side also we can get 25 by 35. So ratio we get as 25 by 35. So what is the ratio of milk and water? So ratio of milk and water is nothing but 22 by 13, right? So this is a very easy and standard approach. This way we can solve the questions. Let us see another problem. Here 8 kg alloy containing copper and aluminium, mixture of these two, in the ratio of 3 is to 7 is mixed with another alloy of 12 kg weight containing copper and aluminium in the ratio 1 is to 4. Find the ratio of copper and aluminium in the final alloy. So it is like this is, let's say, NY1, NY2. NY1 is made up of copper and aluminium. So let us consider the concentration of copper. In terms of copper we will see, right? So copper here is how much? 3 by 10. 3 by 10 we can say 30%. And here in second NY it is copper is 1 by 4. That is concentration is 1 by 5. So 1 by 5 means 20%. 20% is copper. 30% copper and 20% copper. Average, what is average we have to find, and the weights are given. NY1 is 8 kg and NY2 is 12 kg. So ratio, I mean, this is 2 is to 3, so this becomes 3 is to 2. So now approach is 3 is to 2, that is total distance is 5. So 5 units represent what? Difference of these two, 30 minus 20. So 5 units represent 10%, right? So 2 units will represent what? Basically 5 unit represents 10%. So 2 unit will represent 4%. So from here 20 plus 4, 20 plus 4, which is 24%. Very simple. What we did, basically what happens ki, that 3 is to 2, so total 5. Distance of 5 represents the difference between 30 and 20, right? So that is 10. So 5 represents 10, and this is 2. So what will be the distance 2 representing? That is, this represents a concentration of 4%. So here it was 20%, addition of 4% concentration, that becomes 24% concentration. This 3 represents what? 6%. So from here again another 6% will make it 30%, right? So here the copper is 20%, that is nothing but 24 by 100, which is 6 by 25. So copper is to aluminum would become 6 by 19, right? This is the answer. Now see here, when 15 liters of solution of milk and water is mixed with another 20 liter solution having 80% milk, the resultant mixture has 60% milk. Find the concentration of milk in the first solution. So see here the resultant mixture has 60% milk. So that means we have been given weighted average. So when the weighted average is given, we should go by the cross method, right? So weighted average concentration is 60%. Second solution is 20 liters, 20 liters, and concentration is 80%. First solution concentration we do not know, this we have to find. And here this is 15 liters, right? So we know that the difference between these two, 80 minus 60 is 20, right? And so now see, 15 is to 20. So this we can simplify, 5 3 ja and 5 4 ja. So basically this difference here, let's see, this be x. So this becomes 60 minus x, 80 minus 60, 60 minus x. So ratio of 20 and 60 minus x is nothing but 3 is to 4 by cross method. So if 3 represents 20, what should 4 represents? If 3 represents 20, so 4 should represent 80 by 3, right? And 80 by 3 is nothing but 60 minus x. So from here we can say that x is nothing but 100 by 3, right? 100 by 3%, which is, I mean, since we are x is in percentage, so 33.33%. We got this very conveniently. What we did, we know that this 80 60 is given, the difference 20% we know, and the original volumes were given 15 liter 20 liter, 3 is to 4 ratio. So this 3 represents 20. So what will 4 represent? 4 will represent what? 80 by 3 in the same ratio, and 80 by 3 is the difference between 60 and this, right? So 60 minus 80 by 3, that gives you the value of x, which is 100 by 3, right? So 33.33%. These are very simple, only the approach and the method we should be knowing. Now this problem says that two solutions having petrol and kerosene in ratio 3 is to 5 and 4 is to 7 are mixed to obtain a solution having petrol and kerosene in the ratio 81 is to, okay. So here also see, the mixture has a ratio of 81 is to 139. So let us talk in term of petrol, right? So concentration of petrol would be 81 upon what, 9 110 8 3 1 1 2 1 and 1 1 2. So this becomes 81 upon 2. Any one concentration we will take, right? So this is 81 upon 220, and here two solutions. Let this be solution 1 and let this be solution 2 here. So second is 4 by 11 and the first is 3 by 8, right? Petrol. So we have to find the ratio of the quantity Q1 is to Q2, and this we know the ratio is the ratio of difference of these. So here we will calculate 4 by 11 minus 81 by 220. This is nothing but 220. Yeah, 11 2 ja 22, 20 80 minus 81, and here this becomes what, 81 by 220 minus 3 by 8. So this becomes 440 LCM, 162 minus 8 5 ja 8 5 ja 3 5 ja 165. So this gives 3 by 440, I mean minus 3, and here it will be minus 1 by 220. Right. So what will be here? This will be 1 by, this will be 2 by 440, and this side this is 3 by 440, right? This difference. So the ratio becomes 2 is to 3. This is nothing but Q1 by Q2 is 2 by 3. This is the way we solve. I mean, we need not write everything, or many of the calculations can be done mentally here. But this method is certainly shorter than the equation one, which we typically take to solve a question of this nature. Now, question number 9, here it says that how many liters of water needs to be added to a 20 liters of water and milk solution having 90% of milk to result in a solution having 75% milk concentration. So again, the resultant is given, that is the weighted average is given. So that is nothing but 75%. And what is this? This is milk. So we will be talking in terms of milk. So we should be careful about few things. One, which quantity we are taking into account. Here we are concentrating on milk, and second, the ratio, right? So here, since everything is in terms of what, 75% means 75% of the volume. So denominator will have volume, that is quantity, right? Now, two solutions. One solution is 20 liters of water and milk solution. So here this is given as 20, and water and milk solution having 90% milk. So here concentration of milk is 90%. We have to find the how many liters of water, pure water. So in pure water concentration of milk would be 0%, and that we have to find Q, right? What would be the approach? This difference is what, 90 minus 75 is 15, and 75 minus this is 75. 75 minus 0 is 75. So ratio is what, 1 is to 5. So 1 is to 5 means Q is equal to nothing but 4 kg. This is 1 is to 5, and this is, if 5 represents 20, so 1 will represent 4. So Q is equal to nothing but 4 kg. Very simple and efficient way of solving. Couple of things we should be careful. Let me revise this. Why are we using cross method? Because we have been giving the weighted average concentration of the solution, right? Second, we can take anything, either we can take milk or water. If we had this average is given of milk, so I have taken milk only. We can make this 25% and proceed in terms of water also, no issue. Okay, so now since we are proceeding with milk, the concentration of milk we will take. Concentration of milk in the second solution is 90%, fine. Concentration of milk in the first solution, which is only pure water, so that is 0%. And now the ratio of the quantity is in the ratio of the difference, cross difference. So 90 minus 75, 15, and 75 minus 0, 75. So these two ratio will give the ratio of the quantity, and therefore quantity is 4 kg. Now this is another important question. Ratan covers 120 km distance between Ranchi and Jamshedpur in 3 hours. Part of the distance he covered at 30 km per hour and the rest at 75 km per hour. What is the distance covered by Ratan at 30 km per hour? So see, let us break down the question. Ratan covers 120 km. So distance is 120 km and time taken is 3 hours. What is the average speed? Average speed is nothing but what? Bit of a time distance concept we will use. Distance upon time, right? That is nothing but 120 by 3, which is 40 kilometer per hour. So average speed we know. Average speed we know. Now, so since average speed we know, we will use the cross method. Here average speed is 40 kilometer per hour. We should be very careful of the units. Okay, and now the total distance he has covered, distance 1, I mean the first part of the journey at 30 kilometer per hour. So this is 30 kilometer per hour, and here this is second part he has covered at 75 kilometer per hour, right? So what will be the ratio, and what will be the ratio of, see, this is the ratio, the units is kilometer per hour. So here it will be ratio of hour time. So this will be time t1, time t2, not of distance. Here the concept of unit is important. I mean 30 kilometer per hour. So it means that when the kilometer per hour, so this is hour. So the ratio, the difference here, 75 minus 40, which is 35, and 40 minus 10, which is 10. So 35 is to 10 is the ratio of time, because denominator here is hour, time. So this should be very careful, right? So that is nothing but T1 is to T2. That is what? 7 is to 2, right? So now see. So first part of the journey, he takes 7 unit of time. Second part of the journey, part 1 journey. This is part 2 journey, right? Part 1 journey, he covers, I mean, took 7 by 9 part of the total time, and uh, part 2 of the journey took 2 by the ninth part of the time, right? So total time is 9 hours, sorry, 3 hours. So we have to find what is the distance covered by Ratan at 30 kilometer per hour, right? So 30 kilometer per hour, he goes for 7 unit of time. So distance at 30 kilometer per hour is what? 30 speed into time. Time is what? 7x, right? We know that total time is 9 unit. 9 unit represents 3 hours. Total time is 3, right? So 7 would represent what? 30 into 7 into 7 unit, I mean 9 total time, 7 plus 2, 9. 9 units represent 3 hours. So 7 unit will represent 7 by 9 into 3, right? You can write here this way. 9 units represent 3 hours. So 7 unit will represent 3 by 9 into 7. So that is what we run, 7 into 3 by 9. So this we can write as 3 3 are 9, 3 10 ja, so 10 70 kilometers. So what is the distance covered by Ratan at 30 km per hour? That is 70 kilometers. So Ratan covers 70 kilometer at 30 kilometer per hour, right? This is the answer. Many of the candidates, what they do, they treat this ratio as a ratio of the distance and straight away write that the total distance will be 7 by 9 into 120, but that is wrong. Herein, therefore I say, be very careful about the units and the item for which you are calculating this ratio. So here the item is journey, that is fine, uh, but the ratio or the unit is kilometer per hour. So that ratio would be of time here, right? Another question. Let us see here. Magadh Bank lends total of 2000 crore rupees to two companies A and B, one at 8% to company A and the other at 10% interest to company B. After a year, the average return on the bank's lending worked out to be 9.2%. Find the interest earned by the bank from the part which was lent at 8%. So see, average return means average interest return has been given as 9.2%. So that is what has been given to us. We will use cross method because the average has been given to us 9.2%. Part 1 is lent at 8%, part 2 is lent at 10% interest, right? So what, this is 10%, 10% of certain principal, right? So the ratio will be of the principal, that P1 and P2. This interest is percentage of principal amount, right? So therefore the ratio in denominator here would be the principal. So what is this? 10 minus 9.2 is 0.8 and 9.2 minus 8 is 1.2. So P1 is to P2 will be in the ratio of 0.8 is to 1.2, which is nothing but 2 is to 3. And total principal is 2000 crore. So 2000 crore, so it means what? That is 5. So this becomes 800 crore and 1200 crore, right? I divided 2000 crore in the ratio of 2 is to 3, 800 crores and 1200 crores. So find the interest earned by the bank from the part which was lent at 8%. That is, so 800 crore was lent at 8% for 1 year. So interest amount, basic use of simple interest here. So this will be 800 into 8% into 1 by 100, which is 64 crore rupees. This is the interest earned on part A, and this is the answer, right? Now let us, this is the last question for this session. Herein, a fruit seller sells mangoes at a profit of 45% and apples at a profit of 60%, and thus he makes net profit of 50%. Okay, so that is means the average profit has been given as 50%. Find the ratio of quantity of mangoes and apples he sold if it is given that the cost price of 1 unit of apple is 1.5 times the cost price of 1 unit of mango. So let us break this question into various smaller parts. A fruit seller sells mangoes at a profit of 45%. So profit here 45%. Let this side represent mangoes and this side represent apples. And here in case of apples the profit is 60%. And the net profit, average profit is 50%. Right. So what is the difference? 60 minus 50 is 10, 50 minus 45 is 5. But what is this? This ratio is of which quantity, which item? This is profit, right? So profit is percentage of cost price, right? cost price, CP. So this is nothing but the ratio of CP. So CP of mango is to CP of apples. Total cost price of on the mangoes, total cost price of on the apples. And that is nothing but in the ratio of 2 is to 1. Right. So I can write this as total cost price of on mangoes upon total cost price of on apples, that is in ratio of 2 is to 1. And what we have been asked, find the total quantity of mangoes and apples sold, right? So this is basically sold only, but so total cost price of on mangoes, I can write as the quantity sold. So let be the quantity M into CP of 1 unit upon quantity of apple into CP of 1 unit of apple. So let that be given by M and A, right? Because I have used the notation CPM here and CPA here. And this is given as 2 by 1. So basically quantity of mangoes into price of 1 unit of mango upon quantity of apples into price of 1 unit of apple is 2 by 1. And price of 1 unit, cost price of 1 unit of apple is 1.5 times 1 unit of mango. That is A is equal to 1.5 M. So this I can write as quantity of mangoes into M upon quantity of apples into 1.5 times M is equal to 2 by 1. So from here I can say that quantity of mangoes upon quantity of apple is nothing but 1.5 into 2 is 3, 3 is to 1, right? This is the answer. So what is the final ratio of quantity of mangoes and apples? Quantity of mango and apple is 3 is to 1. This is the, so couple of things to note here was the ratio here is not of quantity, ratio here is of the total cost price, because profit we calculate as a percentage of total cost price. So this ratio, therefore I say the units are important. This percentage is a unit of what? As a percentage of cost price. So cost price is the denominator here, 2 is to 1. And from there we calculated the quantities. So this way, this is the basic of allegations, where we make use of the straight line approach or the cross method to solve the questions of weighted average of two items, right? So hope this was clear enough. That's it for today's session. Thanks.